on to control of the House come midterm elections. Here to discuss, Saagar Enjeti, White House correspondent for the Daily Caller. Sir Saagar, starting here, is Paul Ryan's retirement more of a reflection of Ryan's own record as Speaker, a one-off, or is it a foreshadowing of things to come in November for GOP candidates?
Sure. Thanks for having me, Arthel. I think that it is absolutely a bit of both, in that it is a reflection that Paul Ryan is very frustrated. He sees the logjam that's currently going on in the Senate. He knows that in the remainder of this term and probably in the future, with impending losses on both sides in the House and the Senate for Republicans, that it's very unlikely that he is going to be able to do the substantive work that he wants to do. But at the same time, his retirement is sending a message to some Republicans of a morale problem, and that we've heard from some members that it is disheartening to have your leader step down so early in this term and going into such a contentious election. And so it's setting a mood here which is not very good for Republicans.
So if Kevin McCarthy becomes the next speaker, will things be different, or will it be more of the same? And also, Saagar, what are you hearing about House Majority Whip Steve Scalise as a potential successor?
Well, Steve Scalise has made it very clear here. He is not going to run against Kevin, and he never has, and he never will, he says. In terms of, Kevin McCarthy, he's got a great relationship with the president. Paul Ryan and Donald Trump obviously did not have the best record going in whenever the president won the White House. So, Kevin McCarthy and the president are very close. In terms of actual legislative agenda, if the House is lost, then, we're not going to see legislation progress any more so than we probably are right now.
So more
but in terms of that relationship, yes, very likely more of the same, but a tighter bond between the perhaps next Speaker of the House or perhaps the next minority leader and the White House.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to get to that later if I can, but right now I want to touch on something you just mentioned, and I want to find out if you think the GOP as a collective is weary, and if Speaker Ryan's white flag is indicative of a disintegrating party.
Well, I think that, what the Speaker will say is obviously it's not a white flag of surrender, and obviously it's not going anywhere. It's not a disappearing majority. He has a fundraising juggernaut of, tens of millions of dollars in the coffer, and he's said, he's sticking it out through the rest of the term. Some members have said that they are, that this doesn't really affect them anyway whatsoever. But, in terms of symbolism, it is a big deal when the Speaker of the House is saying that he's going to be exiting going into such a contentious election.
Yeah. Hey, Saagar, I need to take a break right now, but I'd like you to stick around because we have to talk about the Democratic Party. That party is not free of anxiety. We'll talk about that after the break.
Great.
This is my body of proof.
Proof of less joint pain.
And clear skin.
This is my body of proof that I can take on psoriatic arthritis.
With Humira.
Humira works by targeting and helping to block a specific source of inflammation that contributes to both joint and skin symptoms. It's proven to help relieve pain, stop further joint damage, and clear skin in many adults. Humira is the #1 prescribed biologic for psoriatic arthritis.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Want more proof? Ask your rheumatologist about Humira.
What's your body of proof?
Hands go here. Feet go here. You know what goes here. And your approval rating goes here. Test drive the Z-Track Z540R at your John Deere dealer today.
Want another burger and chocolate chip cookie box? Us neither. Do your taste buds a favor with Long John Silver's $5 Real Deal. Crispy golden Alaskan whitefish with fries, hush puppies, Cinepups, and a drink for just $5. Only at Long John Silver's.
Come work for an innovative company that pushes the boundaries of connectivity, entertainment, and information. Spectrum, America's fastest growing TV, internet, and voice provider, is looking for individuals who are interested in making the most out of their career. Employees enjoy full benefits, best-in-class 401k, and complimentary services. Spectrum has a wide range of positions available, so find the right opportunity for you. Just go to jobs.spectrum.com and apply today.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call Low Cost Airlines. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call now.
Billions of mouths, billions of problems. Morning breath, garlic breath, stinky breath? There's a TheraBreath for you. Dry mouth, icky mouth, cotton mouth? There's a TheraBreath for you. Sore gums, swollen gums, painful flossing? There's a TheraBreath for you. For all the problems that a mouth can face, TheraBreath has the solution. Because if your mouth's not confident, then you're not confident. Breathe easy. There's TheraBreath. Available at Walmart.
And we're back with Saagar Enjeti, White House correspondent for the Daily Caller. And before the break, I wanted to talk about the Democratic Party, certainly not free of anxiety. They can't take a passive road to the midterm. So what is the workload for the Democrats between now and November?
Sure. One of the biggest problems for the Democrats is that the president's approval rating has been steadily rising, and that their lead on the generic ballot a couple of months ago was 12 to 15 points, and now we're only at 5 to 6. Part of the other issue that the Republicans have been hammering in their home districts is that if the Democrats take the House, we are almost certainly going to see articles of impeachment filed against the president. And, people do not like this negative message in which the Democratic Party, right now, they're having internal debates about what exact policy they stand on other than opposition to the president. And so they have not put forth a positive agenda. And at the same time, they have a very aged leadership. Nancy Pelosi has been at the helm of that party in the House now for several years. Right behind her is Steny Hoyer, who I think is in his, upper 70s. And it seems to be, a gap in between the leadership age and the enthusiasm of the Democratic base. So, lack of a positive message, total opposition to the president, no real faith from the Democratic base in some of the Democratic leadership, and they do have quite the workload cut out for them going into the midterms.
Yeah, and they can't just be anti-Trump. You've got to come up with a plan and a message. However, we have to say that, just because of someone's actual age, it does not mean that they're not qualified or energetic enough to do the job. Okay, now back to Speaker Ryan. Do you think if he had been Speaker under a different administration, this would have played out differently?
Yes, I absolutely do. I mean, the president and Speaker Ryan were very, very, they always differed on a policy level. Speaker Ryan is a Jack Kempian conservative. He believes in welfare reform. He believed in tax reform, in which they did align on. But at the end of the day, he believes in a much more compassionate conservatism message, in which you saw in the 2012 campaign. This president is much more of a deficit spender. He is somebody who ran on a hardline stance on immigration. And these were really not policy priorities for the speaker. So I think it absolutely would have been different if he had been under a different president, especially a different Republican president.
Saagar Enjeti, I leave it there. Thank you very much. And we are back after this break.
Don't miss Scott's Days. It's your local Ace.
Our biggest lawn and garden sale of the spring.
Right now, buy any bag of Scott's fertilizer and get a free $5 reward. Hurry in for great deals throughout the store. Now through Monday at Ace.
Ace is the place with the helpful